noti 773 M53 898 oba noti 781 noti 39 45 watusange e Kampala ku Uganda Market Street Royal Complex Building omwaliro gokusatu suti emo Kasita Quality Awards 2024 ewagiddwa Deposit Protection Fund, Gentex, Tembo, Insurance Regulatory Authority, IUEA, BBS, Movit, Shria Pads, Pride Microfinance and Jubilee Alliance.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
A new dawn on Behind the Headlines with me, Timothy Nyangweso. Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala, we have conversations that have analysis, explanation, but not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth. Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
All on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Good morning and thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to Good Morning Uganda Agenda. Now this chilly Wednesday, I must say, and in case you're coming to Kampala, if you do not have a cardigan, carry something to keep you warm. But in case you're a visitor, we are gifted by nature. We have 2 rainy seasons, and not forgetting this is the Pearl of Africa. And when you finish your official duties, please find time to tour. We have one of the best nightlives in East Africa, but also we are the best gifted when it comes to all aspects of life. Now, this morning, I'm at it again. I'm going to be discussing issues regarding cooperatives, but emphasizing digitalizing cooperatives for transparency and accountability. Now, when you talk about digitalizing, many Ugandans now we know what that means. We moved from the analog system. Some cooperatives were still into having books and a paper. Now we are saying, how do we eliminate the books and paper? Usually we talk about the famous Chitabu, so that you cannot get that book that has records and chew it, and then everything has gone to nowhere. But now if things are digitalized, there's so much that we benefit. But I'm not an expert to discuss that. I have a group of 3 gentlemen. My usual suspect, Ivan Asimwe, who is the General Secretary, Uganda Cooperative Alliance. Very smart. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you so much, and thank you for appreciating that. Good morning, all our viewers. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
And then on just next to him, I have Lutalo Joseph, who happens to be the Assistant Registrar, Cooperatives and Societies in the Ministry of Trade, Industries and Cooperatives. You're most welcome.
Dear viewers, good morning to you all. And thank you, UBS, for this opportunity to come and share with us, mainly with the cooperators, as we are trying to socially and economically transform our country through the cooperative inclusive movement.
And just next to me, I have a person I'm sure must be a visitor in Uganda. But he comes with a lot of good news for us, most of the cooperators. and that is Espen Kiveland, who comes from Norway and is from, that is Wakida, if I pronounce it right, Norway. Wakanda, that is from Norway. But I have him here, and wherever I failed in pronunciation, he's better to do it for me. You're most welcome to Uganda. You're most welcome to the national broadcaster.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having us. So my name is Espen Kvelland. I'm the CEO in Wakandi Group from Norway. A pleasure to be here.
Well, I want to begin with you visitors first in our culture here. Even when we are serving food, you begin with the visitors.
Okay.
Now, first, when you talk about this association, this union, Wakande, what is it all about? Brief, let my viewer know.
So Wakandi is a fintech company working with digitizing cooperatives all over East Africa. We are a Norwegian company, but we run local entities in both Tanzania, Kenya, and now recently we opened up in Uganda. So we work with the cooperatives, the SACCOs. We also work with MFIs. We help them digitize, get things in order. So we have this digital platform. We integrate with banks, mobile money, and we even have a license from the central bank to be able to work with these kind of transactions that they need. So that's Wakande.
Okay, now my viewer at least knows exactly what Wakande does. I'm trying so much to resist the other kind of a movie, so my viewer, pardon me when I go that side. Now, yesterday there was a very big function that happened that had the Ministry of Trade, Industries and Cooperatives, that had Wakanda as well, or the Norwegian government there, and the Uganda Cooperative Alliance. It was at Serena Hotel in Kampala. And I saw Ivan very excited and very happy. And many cooperators also were very, very excited and very happy. Now, Ivan, what was this all about? In detail.
Thank you so much, moderator. And as usual, Ivan Asimwe, General Secretary. First of all, I want to begin by appreciating UPC for always giving us such a very wonderful opportunity to come here, share with the cooperators, share with all Ugandans, both here, Ugandans, and also cooperators globally, because globally people are watching and they are following. So we can't take it for granted. It's a very big opportunity. And the cooperators outside there join me to appreciate UPC. Now, you are very right. Yesterday, we had a very wonderful event. In fact, there were two events. He has talked about Wakandi. Wakandi, basically, we have traveled a journey together. Now, I beg that I really have enough time on this, because with my experience in the cooperatives, and especially in the circles, having risen, I rose up to the level of a general manager of the circle. And during that time, we had softwares. A lot of softwares were there. The vendors are so many. But we failed to get a system that is tailored to the business of a cooperative society. You know, I have always discussed this here on TV, that a cooperative is not a company. A SACCO is not a commercial bank. Neither is it an MFI. But a SACCO is a cooperative. Based on the cooperative ideology, the principles, the values, and for that matter, you need to understand how cooperatives function. And when you are developing a software or an accounting system, you need to understand the financial reporting in cooperatives. Now, given that, we had time and sat with Wakandi, like he has explained, it's a fintech. And we came up with a system that speaks to the financial reporting of a SACCO and other types and forms of cooperatives. So that is the uniqueness of this system. It is tailored to the business of SACCOs. I will give like a scenario. During my time as a general manager, you would find there is a system that has been procured, even government procured systems. But this system here, when it comes to computation of interest on loans, Take an example, Mr. Chirabo, you know this, that when a SACCO advances the loan to a member, maybe for 1 year, and the member recovers this money in 1 week, you are lucky you have sold your cow, you have sold your land, and you want to pay back. Now, in the SACCOs, we only compute interest for that 1 week and we close the loan. However, in these other banks, the interest will have already been booked and you pay the entire interest. Which is the difference? Now, but with these systems that they had developed, because they are developed systems for companies and commercial banks, the system would not allow you to close that loan with only an interest of 1 week. It would. So what would happen? Practically, you would find that in the manual system, you have closed the loan. But in the system would not allow you to close the loan because the time has not yet reached, and secondly, the entire booked interest must be cleared in order for both the digital and the paperwork to balance. And that one would create imbalances between the two systems. Now, what happens with this one here, because it is tailored towards that business, then you can easily do whatever you want to do. You talk about payment of dividends. It was also a challenge because dividends, whenever at the end of the year when you have a surplus, then you declare dividends, then you do pay as per the shares. But now the complication would be when the how much to be paid as dividend is less than the per value of a share. Then the system still would have issues. So all of those have been catered for in this system. And now if you are a SACCO, you can able use this system. And because we have invested a lot of time, the technical people have been there, invested a lot of time. Talk about the other types of cooperatives. Talk about coffee. Now you will find that these systems which are being sold to these cooperatives, it has, when it comes financial reporting, it has the component of sales, less cost of sales. And the cost of sales will capture as opening stock, add purchases, less closing stock for accountants. However, in cooperatives, there are no purchases. Cooperatives, coffee cooperatives don't purchase coffee. They aggregate members' coffee. And the ownership of coffee goes up to the market. As opposed to companies which procure and they have purchases within the accounting system.
So in brief, we can say this system is tailor-made.
Tailor-made for the business of cooperatives in Uganda. So based on that, we now, yesterday, we had to launch. One, launching the office of Wakandi in Kororo in the morning. And then in the afternoon, there was MOU. In fact, it was signing of 2 MOUs. Now, the first MOU was between Innovation Norway and the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. Mr. Rusantaro will give the details. But basically, when you check in the MOU, Innovation Norway and the Ministry of Trade are really coming in to support cooperatives. And I want to thank Innovation Norway, the ministry, the government of Uganda, for this very big initiative where they are coming in to support cooperatives in areas of technology, like I've mentioned Wakandi, in areas of marketing, where now these cooperatives will be able to manage, bring together or aggregate their produce together, add value, and collectively market in the international market. Then thirdly, access to finance is also very critical, but he'll give the details. Now, after that, when it comes to implementation now, because Uganda Cooperative Alliance is the apex body, then UCA also signed an MOU with Wakandi. Now that is at implementation level. How do we implement? Make sure that the main MOU is actualized. So UCA came in and signed that MOU. So we are starting immediately to make sure that these cooperators really come together in the equation, and then we move this country together.
Well,
and
I'll go to Rutaro very fast.
Just very briefly, I want to thank the chief guest, who was the Right Honorable Third Prime Minister as our chief guest. We had all the ministers of trade, the permanent secretary. So we are so happy that that this is a very big milestone in as far as the cooperative movement in this country is concerned.
I'll be getting back to Ivan later on. Let me go to Lutalo. I'll not go back into the content of the signing because I believe Ivan has really delved into that deeply. But now to the cooperators out there, you know, new things are always new. Lutalo, what is digital migration for the cooperatives? We must understand this, and why.
Thank you very much. I know, like you echoed on it at the start, that at least when we talk of digital, we assume at least almost all Ugandans know, basing on the mere fact that we came from far. You remember when they forced us to transact on airtime on our phones, we had resisted it. So even as cooperators, we are always trying to be, to catch up with time and development. So even as we are trying to transform from our traditional manual way of doing businesses in the cooperatives to digital systems and technologies. So in that kind of transformation from manual, we are going to achieve so many things. One, we will increase on efficiency of how we do our transactions between cooperatives themselves, cooperatives with the other cooperatives, cooperatives with the office of the registrar, cooperatives or Ministry of Trade, and even is communication between. So, like for example, we are here with the General Secretary, UCA. He has been communicating with all cooperators manually through writing documents, whatever. But now with this kind of digital transformation, we are easing that kind of communication. In that, we are easing the accessibility of Ugandans, mainly cooperators, to services from the different stakeholders, but mainly the apex bodies and our office as the registry of cooperatives. In that, we are building towards sustainability of our cooperatives. Sustainability in a way that we want these cooperatives to fulfill the needs of the current generation of membership in our cooperatives, but also to be able to remain there and help the next generation. Those are the children of the members. But with the kind of traditional way of doing business, it is not very easy. Even in the process, we always even keep losing some of our documentation, which makes it complicated to continue sustainably with managing our cooperatives.
Now, coming to Wakandi, Norway. You're here, you've brought this technology. My viewer is eager to know more about this technology. How is it gonna work? Give us more.
Of course. And I think I want to start with focusing a little bit on the system as it is tailor-made, as you very correctly said. When we started this journey almost 6 years ago, we evaluated many systems that we could use as foundation for building what we wanted to do. That was impossible. And as Mr. Ivan very correctly is stating, many of our competitors, and all well about competitors, you should be very careful about, yeah. But most of them, they buy or rent a system from third parties, which very often is not meant for the cooperative sector. Instead, they get the system and they white label it, as we call it. They take it and they sell it. We believe in a different approach. We invested a lot of money in building a system that is uniquely created for the very unique requirements they have. So it has taken us many years to build it. We have invested a lot of money in it. We just, all the way back from January 2023, we did pilots. And I have to take the opportunity to say a big thank you to all the organizations in Uganda that have helped us, that have guided us. We have to be humble on the fact that even if we are good in writing software, we are not good in understanding all these small details that is important for the sector that we are here to serve. So it's the guidance of the likes as Mr. Ivan in UCA, organizations like TAMFI, UMRA, and of course, Bank of Uganda. So a big thank you goes out to all of them that has been guiding us and helping us to understand and get the system to where it is today. So it's basically all about that, to listen to our customers coming in and keep on evolving. Because it's also very important to say we are not perfect yet. And I think if you have that approach to software, that you will never be perfect, you will always learn more, you will always adjust to the times coming, the changes in everything, I think that's a very important starting point.
Now, that's a very important starting point, no doubt, but I'm looking at someone who is home, a cooperator,
Yes.
watching this show, very eager to know, is this an app fine? Okay, it's a software. How does one get onto it? I mean, do I have to have a mobile phone? Does it go to, if you're at liberty to give these details?
Yes. Now, so if I was sitting and writing this piece of software in Europe for Europeans, we would most likely just make an app and be very happy with that. We learned very early that that doesn't work here. So you can interact with the system in many ways. You could download the app, that's possible, for the ones that have a smartphone and wants to go fully digital. We believe that's where we are going, but not everyone is there yet. So we also support using USSD menus. We send out SMSs as receipts, so we don't need to have the app to get the, maybe you contribute to your SACCO, you get an SMS back as a receipt that the payment was done. Very important thing, because there's a lot of fraud in this, unfortunately, in this world. And they can even do fraud when they say that something was paid and they give out a note that is not correct. So this is this accountability that we make, this transparency in the SACCO. And so the app is there, the USSD menus are there, you can use mobile money. So when the SACCO has been onboarded, you can send mobile money using a reference number. Automatically we take that transaction and we reconcile it towards the loan or a saving. You can also use the web interface. And also the beauty for the SACCO is that this is a very important point. You don't need to install any servers. You don't need to buy any expensive hardware. You don't need to pay us a lot of money to be onboarded. We onboard you for free. We don't sell you a system. We are setting up this as a partnership. And I have to, if you allow me, I'm just going to use a few minutes on this because this is very important. I don't look at the cooperators as my customers. I look at them as our partners. A partnership is mutual beneficial. If it's not a proper partnership. So how does that work? Well, we start with digitizing the SACCO. We start with getting the members digital. If the members prefer to still go to the SACCO and do transactions over the counter, we also support that. Because we have to accept that people are where they are on the digital journey. Over time, we do gently guide them towards a digital future because we believe that's where they should end up. But back to the partnership. Instead of selling a software and then running away with the money, and you have to call us back for support, we just charge a very, 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 very small fee every month for the usage of the system. Very small. And it's very easy, and I get this question in a lot of customer meetings. They don't believe it because how can we survive? We are a company, we are here for profit. And here comes the beauty of this platform, because it is a platform. It connects banks, mobile money, insurance. In the future, we will connect credit, more access to credit. And it is in that ecosystem we are making our revenue. And so instead of putting a high cost on the SACCO or the cooperative or the member of the cooperative, we instead set this up as a platform. And I would say I'm pretty proud of the local team that has come up with these models that allow us to get revenue from other places. Yeah.
Now, Ivan, we know usually, given the various forms of cooperatives we have, but the most outstanding here are agricultural cooperatives. And these are people in rural areas. Now, you've been in this movement for some time, like you rightly say. Adjustability, this is something new. But I know all along, how are we going to break even to a person who maybe believes, for me, when I get my money, I take it to the counter, I've seen Ivan, I've registered it there, they give me a receipt, I go back, I sleep. Or that receipt even can work case someone is demanding me, and I show them, tell them, no, you can keep it. You give me, they are going to pay me, keep it. Now here we are going into another direction. Let's look at how easy it will be, or hard, or even your observations into this.
Thank you so much. I like using my experience. You know, manual system is very expensive than the digital system. Practically, I have seen it. This is where, as a general manager, you know, it would take like a whole month looking for a difference of 500 shillings. Just a difference. What has happened? Someone who comes, he deposits less than 100,000. For you, the other side, maybe on the till sheet, you capture 100,000. On the west sheet, you capture 100. Then when you go somewhere on the controls, you capture 10,000. There's a difference already of 90,000. That difference would take almost 2 months. You deploy all the stuff from the different, because I had almost 6 branches, you would bring all the stuff to come and look for that 90,000. 2 weeks. Isn't it costly? But now when it comes to digital, the moment Ivan comes to the counter, you enter in the system, automatically it goes through the whole process. It goes to the till sheet, it goes to my ledger, goes to the controls, go to everything, and you can easily, just by click of a button, get a financial statement there and there. Now, come to financial statements when you're using the manual system. It would take us towards AGM, annual general meeting, 3 months trying to balance and trying now to prepare income statement, statement of financial position, all of that. So it is very tedious, especially the managers who are there. Now, he has mentioned, back to your question, he has mentioned that actually this system can allow whichever way you want to use it. If Ivan is comfortable coming to the counter, then the cashier will be there, receives the money, enters in the computer, and automatically it goes, the money goes to the savings of Ivan's account. If Ivan has a loan and you want to transfer the money to offset the loan, automatically click of a button, the loan is offset, the interest is captured separate, the principal is separate, it now goes to the whole system, and you have the statements ready. You remember one time we were here, moderator, when we talked about this experience of Chitabo, the book, someone who sold the book, where, because you are using a manual system, you have collected people's money, there is no accountability, end of December, people want their money, what do? The man now decided to swallow a book because there was no accountability. However, now with the digital system, and I want to call upon cooperators outside there, like I mentioned, a system is cheaper than the manual system. I have done it practically. It is more transparent, accountability is very fast, so it does not really cost you anything. So this is how it is going to help us. Now, if you went to other types and forms of cooperatives, like I earlier mentioned, the beauty with this system, and like he has mentioned, we sat as a team, the Ministry of Trade, Uganda Cooperative Alliance, AMFU, UMURA, and other regulators, because we understand the sector very well. So we have had our input in ensuring that we have a system that is tailor-made to the business of cooperatives, not only circles, but even other types and forms. Talk about agricultural cooperatives. It has been a bit challenging for people to come up with a system that really speaks to the business of a cooperative union. Coffee or milk, take an example of milk. Every day, people bring in their milk. So which system is going to capture that, those entries? Now, milk, you don't take it as a purchase. No, in accounting, when you are using company accounts, it's not a purchase. People are bringing milk, these are members. They are aggregating milk through their cooperative society. And then after the month, they will be paid their money. Then after, any money that comes in as a surplus, it is paid back to the members. And then at the end of the year, if let's say it is coffee, these ones who are supplying through fair trade, there is also premium payment. So how do you capture the mode of payment? How do you capture those transactions? You need a system that is tailored to that business. And now Wakandi is the solution.
Well, cooperators there now, change comes, and it is always very good to adopt to change. And you can't resist change. If you want to resist change, change will change you. You can't overcome. But now this is change that comes with so much advantages, more so when it comes to transparency and promoting accountability. Now, so I want to bring in Lutalo. We want to look at some of the key aspects of the mobile and web-based system.
Thank you very much, moderator. Dear Ugandans, mainly my fellow cooperators, the Ministry of Trade, with the help of our other stakeholders, USAID, Feed the Future, and so many, even Wakandi, and so many stakeholders, we came up with a cooperative legacy management information system. This cooperative management information system, it has so many aspects which it will be offering, or services to be offering to cooperators. But I can give you an insight on some of the different services we will be offering. First and foremost, this system will help us to digitalize our services. When I talk of our services, meaning it provides for a platform through which we can come up with online transactions in so many ways. I can tell you, we've been registering cooperatives because that is our mandate. We register cooperatives. But I can tell you, people have been moving all the way, for example, from Moyo, coming to Kampala to farmers' house to deliver a file for registration. Then after delivering, submitting, the person will go back to Moyo. Now we'll have to come back after 2 weeks. Sometimes it can go beyond. It depends on the different whatever scenarios going on around the environment. So what happens is, this system, it is going to ease making some of those transactions. Someone would come to Kampala all the way from Moyo, Agago, to come and file what we call annual returns. After the general meeting, they have to come and file annual returns to deliver those documents. Then it depends. We can tell him to come back for the approval, acknowledgement. Then after another week, just a mere certifying the certificate, someone will travel from all the way to come to Kampala. Accessing maximum liability. Even making some of these simple inquiries. Some people, they have been coming to our office. So this system is going to help us to everything will be online, whereby the leaders of our cooperatives will be able even to make transactions from their offices. Sometimes even from home. You can send a letter when you're at home. After sending the letter, we will do our part and we make prompt responses. So in that digitalization services, simply it will also ease communication between the registrar or the Ministry of Trade with cooperators. And that communication will also be able to provide a simple way of even sharing knowledge. Because these cooperators, when we register a cooperative, they become like our children. Children need guidance for them to grow. Even these cooperatives, they need guidance. But sometimes we can't offer the needed guidance because of the distance between the Ministry of Trade and our people on the ground. But with this communication, everything will be online. You want any kind of guidance, clarification, you just send an email, an SMS, and someone will respond there and then. 2, this system has provided tools to digitalize our processes, automation of our processes. When I talk about automation of our processes, I mean, like, for example, streamlining the procedures in the way we are offering services. By streamlining these procedures, it means we will be able to avoid some of the unnecessary repetitive steps or activities in offering our services. You find that with the manual systems, we even go through some processes which are not called for. Like the way Bwana General Secretary has mentioned, in the manual way of doing business, even a simple mistake, you can end up detecting it at the end of the process. And it takes you days and time, even increase the manual power to correct that simple mistake. For example, people submit documents, but not all of them can be thorough. Now, after I have analyzed the file, I will make a phone call. Sometimes, remember, we are talking to our local people. I may fail to explain what is needed to be collected, and the person travels from Moyo, from Mubuga in Kisoro, purposely to come and collect a simple mistake. Then later he goes back. After going back, then later you call back and the certificate is ready. Now the person comes back and picks the certificate. And also, in that way, we will be able to reduce on the manual errors. And in reducing the manual errors, we will increase on the sustainability of our cooperatives. Two, many stakeholders, including UBC itself, you have ever requested for some kind of statistical data relating to cooperatives. With the manual systems, there is some statistical data which you can't have. If you tell me that I need how many women or youth or people with disability in our cooperatives all over the entire country, I may not be able to do it. But this digital system, it will be giving us statistical and insights on what is happening with our cooperatives. In that, it will help to improve on our decision making, and also will be able to make strategic planning for our cooperatives, for the government and its agencies, and even our stakeholders. Like I have told you, there is no any institution which can go without stakeholders. And I have liked the language which my brother from Wakanda has used, that they are not looking at our cooperatives as customers. No, that is the language most people have. No, it is a partnership, a collaboration between Wakandi and our cooperatives. So these systems, they are making offering advisory services to our cooperatives very simple.
So the benefits of these systems are endless.
Yeah, time will come.
If might.
Time will come when I will not need to go to Mubuga to make of whatever physical training in the governance. No, time will come when we could be doing it on the system. With the help of these stakeholders who are coming on board, like the Wakandi and all other stakeholders, which one Asim has told you, everything will be very simple.
Everything. Now, you wanted to supplement something. Well, here, yes.
I think it's been covered very well, but there are some important aspects with this, because all we are actually talking about is data. And a question that we very often get from cooperators, so that's why I wanted to address it here, because I know a lot of them are thinking about it. What about our data? Today they maybe have it in an Excel sheet, they have it in a system installed locally, maybe they have it in a book. And it's important to say that the data is very safe with us. We host it in big servers. We are a regulated entity. That means that we cannot go out and sell that data or do anything else with it. And the thing also with data is we are bringing in one key learning from the country where I'm from, which is Norway. The government has implemented a lot of digital processes. To give an example, if I want to do something as strange as change my name, it takes 1 minute online, one form online. If I want to file my taxes, it takes 10 seconds. If I want to apply for, move my home address, it takes less than a minute. If a company wants to deliver their their annual reports, it's very simple. That last one we are bringing to this space, meaning that when the SACO needs to do their reporting to the various stakeholders, the regulators, we have tailor-made the reporting based on their input. Very important thing, because today there's so much errors. Maybe they sit with an Excel file, maybe they even print it and go to the office and deliver it. That time has to stop, because that should be one click in a system. We are not perfect yet, but we will get there. So I just wanted to add that one. Thank you.
Well, also when we talk about systems, we talk about technology. How safe is this, away from just protecting my data? All the time we hear hackers. Now here, there is money involved. If I can mess around and I deposit various funds to various people's accounts, that would do me good. I would be a very successful hacker.
You would be.
And of course, money would be gotten. And then usually sometimes what we get with these systems are that you find that the provider of the system is not the sole determinant of the system. Now, when someone hacks into the system, they'll tell you head office in Norway, we are contacting them. Then they will tell you have to, maybe your license expired, you need some money. It becomes a very huge problem.
Yeah.
And this we've experienced in our country. And sometimes people, you go, and how safe then also is the network?
Yeah.
We have these issues. Someone will want to withdraw their money or do something, and they are told, if we go to an ATM and the network is down, then what about a system?
Yeah. Well, you're pointing out to something very relevant. And it's actually two parts you're talking about. One is the security, like how do we handle that? And how do we handle the availability of the system?
Yes.
There are pros and cons. You know, when you have a server in the corner, it's always available for you, and no matter if the network is down. But that server can be stolen. Someone can take it. The hard disk can crash, so all the data is lost. So there's always pros and cons with everything. We can't do magic. The network is as it is. If the network is down, the system is not available. There's no other way to do it. We do certain things. We allow them to access certain things. But if internet is down in Uganda, we are also down. And this is just how it is with thinking about digitalization that way. If the ATM is down, the bank can't really do anything else than wait for the network to come up again. So that area, but for on our part, we always work with various stress scenarios. We do a lot of security testing. And I think one thing that should give a lot of confidence to the cooperators, to our partners there, is we are licensed by the central bank. And trust me, that process is not easy. It took us 2 years to get the license. Very thorough process. And maybe I'm wrong, and I don't mean to offend any competitors, but I think we are the only one in the market that has this license. It has taken a lot of time to get to where we are. And we did the same in Kenya. Very, very long process. It's the same type of system being used. You said one important thing. You said call to Norway to get help. I can assure you it's not like that. The company is owned by a Norwegian entity. We are here on the ground to support our local staff. Our customers don't need to interact with us from Norway. We have very talented local people with country managers, sales people, support people, compliance people, everyone sitting here in Kampala working together with our partners. So the company is owned by the Norwegian, but it's truly a local Uganda company that is here to serve our people.
Here to serve our people, and of course now the issues regarding safety have really been discussed. Ivan, cooperators deal so much with money because they have what they are bringing and they are getting money. But one of the critical roles has been issues of transparency and maybe sometimes integrity. How is this system going to factor into this?
Thank you so much. Like as earlier mentioned, once you have a system like a circle here, a member comes, deposits the money, it is entered in the system, and it goes through the entire system, up to reporting. You disburse a loan, the same system. It becomes very easy when it is about transparency and accountability. You can easily account to the members, to the stakeholders, to anybody, just real time. Like Mr. Rutar was mentioning. Instead of coming with a printed copy to the ministry, imagine from Chisoro. You board the bus very early in the morning, you reach here in the evening, the ministry has closed, you sleep, tomorrow morning you wake up, you come to submit, the man looks through the report, he says there is a mistake here, you board the bus again, you go back to Chisoro to collect the mistake, you come back, all that is time wasted. So in other words, with the system, it's just real time. Share with the ministry, they look through the system, if there is a mistake, they send you a message, collect here, add this, subtract this, you collect it, real time, you submit. That is the real transparency and accountability we are talking about. Members want to know, I'm a member, I've deposited money. I want to know how much is on my account. You know, in some circles which are on the manual system, the manager will tell you, give me 1 week. I have to add. I want to see how much you deposited, how much are your withdrawals, and how much is the balance, a whole week. So that time wastage, like he was mentioning, we need to move away from the old methods of doing things because time is money. Cooperators, we need to know that we are now in the digital era. If we don't embrace technology, then the technology will embrace us. And that will be the end of the story. So the earlier we move, the better. I want to call upon all circles and other types of cooperatives. This is the right time for us to embrace technology, because the manual system, I did it myself for 9 years. I know how expensive and how hectic it is. But with the digital system, everything is okay. You just look at banks. Even if you wanted your money at midnight, you go to an ATM and withdraw. Even if I'm here seated, I can transact on my account. I can easily look at my statement using e-banking. That is where we should be looking at. The olden days are gone. This business of saying, as it was, it is now, and ever shall be, forget about it. We need to move in a different angle. Then, so here, really, as I finish, I want to thank the government of Uganda, Ministry of Trade, for this initiative, which we saw yesterday with an MOU. I want to thank Innovation Norway for the support and the partnership. I want to thank Wakandi that sat with us, the whole team, and we developed a system that is tailored to the business of cooperatives. And they are not coming in as a business, but they are coming in as a partner to support digitization of cooperatives, not only circles, but all cooperatives. Cooperators outside there, help me, let's work together, let's embrace technology. This is the way to go. Thank you.
Now, Lutalo, as we are coming to the end of this show, your final remarks to the cooperators regarding this new development.
Thank you very much. You talked about transparency and accountability. With the new technology, it can be a warning, or it can be some kind of something people should think about. You know, we've been suffering with most of the leaders of our cooperatives. They don't want to be compliant. For example, you talked of accountability. Accountability, for me, a member of a cooperative, I get accountability at the end of the financial year when you call me for a general meeting, and you give me accountability for what happened during the previous year, and we plan for the next year.
Moreover, that happens after lunch.
So what?
People are tired.
So some people have been
the final thing on agenda is accountability.
Some people have been taking years without organizing those annual meetings, simply without giving accountability. Why? Because even as we have more than 40,000 cooperatives, we can't be everywhere. And we had no way how we could tell from Kampala. But now with this new technology, whenever it would be it will go beyond 31st March, the system will put there ready, telling us that these ones haven't been they have not accounted for their members. Meaning we will come in and try to revoke members. We revoke the section 22. We say that if we don't give accountability within 90 days from the end of the financial year, meaning legislators should come in and call for a special meeting, and we elect new leaders. So this is to leaders and even members. Actually, members, you should be the one who should force these leaders to go digital. By all means, you should force them, because that is the only way we can get transparency, you can be accountable to, and that is the only way you can also curb fraud. Because most corporates are suffering from fraud due to the ongoing manual system. But with digital systems like the way Bwana Simu has told you, you can be able to tell the route how the transaction moved. But with the manual system, someone just eats one page and everything is lost. So members, mainly the members of our cooperatives, if you see your leaders don't bring you together to digitalization, please do the needful. At your annual meetings, we are now towards the end of the financial years. Please force these people to go digital so that you can safeguard and also safeguard your money and also get clear accountability. These cooperatives are here to help us today and tomorrow. By tomorrow, I mean our children and our grandchildren.
Well said, Lutalo. That is from the Ministry of trade industries and cooperatives. Now, Spain, as we come to the end, first, what is this called? Is it a Wakanda? How, you know, in case someone asks, yes, I've been watching. So what do I look out for?
Well, the name Wakanda, I wish there was a very, very good story behind it. But I'm going to invite every partner and every cooperative I ask to ask me the question. I'll keep it a secret for now. Yeah. Closing words from my end would be to tag along on the big thank you. And also I want to take the opportunity to invite these SACCOs in Uganda to join on this journey, on this partnership. And it is truly a journey because, as you said, change takes time. And change is also very often hard for people. So we accept that cooperatives, SACCOs, has a certain type of soul. They meet, it's much more than just savings and credit. And we accept that and we try to embrace that. So I would like to invite them in on our journey together, a journey on this partnership to become digital. We understand that it's not done on the first day, but over time, they will see more and more benefit of using the mobile money, using the digital way of doing things and see all the benefits. So thank you so much for having us here. And it's been really great. I'm looking forward to meet with a lot of new SACCOs here in Uganda.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. Ivan, Lutalo, and Spin from Norway. Thank you so much for your time. And above all, our viewers, thank you so much for being part of this show. To the cooperators, the thing is digital migration. How do you do things in a digital manner? Well, what is interesting is this something tailor-made for the cooperatives, if I may use the word SACCOs. Now it understands issues regarding accountability, issues regarding reporting, where your taxes are exempted, still this system factors in all that. So why not take this direction? Because it's quick and reliable. See you in the next hour. Have a lovely day.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Basebo ne banyabo Kasita Quality Awards 2024 zizino era zakubaayo ku Lwokutaano nga 25 Oktoba 2024 ku IUEA Auditorium e Kansanga wansi w'omulamwa Celebrating Excellence Inspiring Innovation jangu twegatteko nga twebaza abasuubuzi ne bannamakolero bonna olw'omulimu omulungi gwe bakola okumanya ebisingawo okuba ku ssimu noti 772 590 noti M22 oba noti 773 M53 898 oba noti 7 noti 39 5 watusange Kampala ku Uganda Market Street Royal Complex Building omwaliro ogwokusatu suti emu Kasita Quality Awards 2024 ewagiddwa Deposit Protection Fund, Gentex, Tembo, Insurance Regulatory Authority, IUEA, BBS, Movit, Shria Pads, Pride Microfinance and Jubilee Alliance.